Whiskey friends, far and wide, we are live. I'm Eric, your humble malt muser, beaming the signal from the Midwest Malt Town here in Chicago, Illinois. Great to see everybody for 2-hour happy hour. Telex, my whiskey tasting partner, usually on Tuesday evenings, is out this week. So we are going to do an extended 2-hour show. I got all sorts of fun stuff lined up to taste, to chat about, all that good stuff. But first, before we do that, let me see who is ponied up to the virtual bar here on a Tuesday, getting things started. Looks like we got a lively chat. 11 folks in the house already, man. Great to see it. Appreciate you all hanging out as always. And let me just jump in and say hi to folks, and then we will get things rolling. First in the door today, Calumet City, Tamika Ivy. Hey, miss seeing here all week, Malt. I got some Jim Beam rye style tonight. Tamika, as always, appreciate your compliments. Right on her heels, another Midwest friend, Mr. French. Beautiful evening in Duluth. Good to hear. Pouring a Glenmorangie Quinta Rubon for the show. Great. IC86. Hello. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Montreal is in the house. It's Paul saying hi to folks. East Texas. Daniel. How's it going, Daniel? What's up with you? Good to see folks saying hi to each other, which is fantastic. Coming from the West Coast, Donner Pass Whiskey saying hi. What's up, Donner? I'm going to have a package in the mail for you this week. Sorry for the delay. AnCnoc 12 for Paul. Good choice. We're going to be talking about an AnCnoc tonight. It's good whiskey. I quite enjoyed their 12 years old. Great juice indeed. Donner's got some Tomatin Legacy in the glass. Daniel's getting some Ardbeg 10. All right. Everybody's getting some good juice out. Going to have a nice, good evening here, folks. Everybody's saying hi to Donner Pass. Heat wave broke today where I am. Mild temperatures till Saturday. All right. Good deal, man. Yeah, it's been somewhat mild here in Chicago as well. For a couple about a hot week. The last week and a half has been pretty nice. I'm not complaining. Windows open, no AC on. Life is good. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. I've had that conversation with myself before, for sure. Bonjour, he says. Yeah, cheers, Paul. Great to see you. There is, yeah. He's taking the snooze, but over the last week, I did rescue a cat, made an adoption. That's Winston. He's about 1 year old. He's a Russian blue, but he's also a long hair mix, so he's got long fur. He is Winston the whiskey cat, and so he is hanging out. He's sleeping, keeping guard over the Lefroy carcasses over there, but he might make a little bit of an appearance. We'll see if he wakes up. Silverlock, my Chicagoland friend. What's up, buddy? Happy Tasty Tuesday to you as well. Oahu, out in Hawaii, middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's Juan. Hello to you, sir. Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that. Jack the Pickled Hound. Boys and girls, what's up? Ontario, Canada, Peter White. How's it going, Peter White? Great to see you. Carch's Port and Wine Cask in the glass tonight. Nice choice. Mahir, Delhi, India. Living fast, die young. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. International friends. Chris S. God evening. I think that's Sunday. You're good, man. What's up, buddy? How are you? Oh, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, it's 43% here in the States, so I guess that's we're lucky on that. I guess we can talk AnCnoc, even though you teased me with Balcones yesterday. Well, I'll get into that shortly, and tell you why. But don't get too worried about the Balcones thing. Not just yet. Yeah, western out in the west suburbs, southwest suburbs of Chicago. Hell of a tornado. I don't know if you're in that area, the Naperville, Woodridge, that part of the city. Craziness, man. Jack Daniel's rye. Gonna pour some Ardbeg 10. Oh man, the peat's coming out. Saying hi to my here, New Jersey. Hoping everything's well. What's up, Andrew Page, my friend? How are you? Good to see you. Ben Riek 12. More likes than people. That's cool. All good, man. You know, what's up, Loch Ness? Sitting on the deck with the classic Turkey 101. What's up? Get at me, man. And a nice cigar to boot. Loch Ness is setting the standard for relaxation this evening. Yesterday in the small store, I find dusty bottles. They had an old Viking hype Highland Park 12, 15, 18. Wow. 110 for the 18? Jeez, man. That's a deal. Nice, man. That's awesome. Folks saying hi to each other. Loch Ness, Mahir, Silverlock. Awesome. Great, dude. Good to see. Great to have everybody in the house. We got 15 in already, man, which is just awesome. We're kicking this show off. So as you may have seen in the description, this is going to be a 2-hour show tonight. Telex, my whiskey tasting partner, he's off tonight. He's out traveling in Kentucky. Think he's going to bring back some bourbon? Probably not. But that is his home city, or home state, rather. So we're going to wish Telex good travels and safe return home. I'll raise a glass to our friend while he is out this week. We will be back, Telex and Malt Show, next week with Linkwood. So we're going to be checking out 2 different Linkwood single malt Scotch whiskeys. But tonight, I put together on a 2-hour show for us because, I'm not going to just do one and done, not with Telex out. So here's what we got going on tonight. As advertised, hour number 1, I have a very interesting AnCnoc whiskey. As you all know, I'm a big fan of AnCnoc. The AnCnoc 24 was my whiskey of the year last year. This is the AnCnoc Peatheart. It is a heavily peated AnCnoc Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. We're going to be chatting about this. We're going to taste it. I'll tell you guys what it's all about. It's an interesting one. This is batch 2 for those keeping score at home. Hour number 2, if you saw briefly, I had scheduled a tasting yesterday of some Balcones. However, with Telex out, I decided to parlay it into a 2-hour show. So in hour number 2, I'm going to be tasting 2 single malt releases from Balcones, both with different finishes, both store picks, one from Illinois, one from Texas. Hat tip to Daniel and Zach for finding this bottle. So one of them is going to be a French oak cask maturation. The other is a European oak cask maturation. So we're going to test those out in hour number 2. I will give them a taste, share my thoughts. So if you got some AnCnoc, you got some Balcones, doesn't even matter if you don't. Pour some whiskey, get comfortable. We got 2 hours of whiskey chat. Good folks already hanging out, doing their thing in the chat section here. And we're going to get things started. All right. I was just warming up with one of my favorite distilleries, Ben Romick. Patreon supporters, keep an eye on your inbox tomorrow morning because you will be getting a double review. Ben Romick 10 years old and Ben Romick 10 years old Imperial Proof. I do a little head-to-head tasting in the review, which I recorded earlier today. So you'll expect that in your inbox tomorrow. Everybody else, sit tight. If you can't join Patreon, that's all good. You will find it in your inbox on Friday. All right. Let me just do a quick checkup here on some other folks who have hopped in. I want to make sure I say hi. Folks saying hi to Loch Ness. Silverlock. I think I just missed it. Tough 2 months, was a way to take care of both my parents who got COVID. Mom recovered, but father didn't make it. Oh, man. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I will pour out a glass for your father tonight, man, and for you and your family. That's rough. I hear you. A lot of folks affected by this, but, man, that's really sad to hear, buddy. I hope you're doing okay. You have good support around you and are, handling this as best you can, man. Thoughts to you, buddy. Nathan Redmond, what's up? Ardbeg drum in the glass. Man, a lot of Ardbeg drinkers tonight. Okay. We got some Ardbeg 10s. We got an Ardbeg drum in the glass. Right on, Nathan. Thanks for stopping in, man. Great to see you. IC86 is a chemistry major. I like your shirt. Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. It's probably the only whiskey themed shirt that I own, but I like to bust it out when I can, man. That's what my gray cat does most of the time. Yeah. As you can see, my new friend here, Winston, the whiskey cat, is I think I just woke him up. Yeah, he's sleeping. He's not caring. He's got a nice little cat blanket over there, keeping an eye on the carcass, making sure nothing bad happens to it. Hi, buddy. We'll see if he wakes up later, and we'll bring him up to the camera to say hi. Have you ever done a two and done? I'm not sure. Quig never has. Two and done. Are you saying like 2 whiskeys and that's it, or 2 tastings? Folks showing love to Silverlock, man. Appreciate that, you guys. Yeah, shoot your share some of your positive vibes with him, man. He's going through some rough stuff right now. Mahir just woke up to attend the stream and meet all you guys. Hey, man, appreciate that, Mahir. Thank you. I agree with you, man. I think Ben Romick is a criminally underrated distillery. It does not get the attention it deserves, maybe to the benefit of us whiskey drinkers. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Raising glasses to Silverlock. Yeah, cheers, man. Appreciate that, you guys. Thank you. And I'm sure Silverlock really appreciates that as well. And glad to have you in the stream tonight, bud. Hopefully we can give you a little bit of a distraction for a little bit. Yeah, you know, I was napping on the job, brother. Napping on the job. He's stretched out now too. He's a character. We've been having a good old time since he became an official resident of the Malt Den this weekend. All right, so here's what we got going on here in our premiere, whatever you want to call it, our profile tasting. AnCnoc Peatheart. This bottle. This is batch number 2. 40 ppms. If you care about the ppms, that's parts per million of peat. Again, debatable whether it matters. This is non-chill filtered natural color because they put it right here on the label. Thank you, AnCnoc. 46% ABV as well. Comes in this type of just kind of dark tube. Again, minimalist. That's how AnCnoc rolls. Even their 24-year-old just comes in a tube like this. And this one currently something you can pick up if you buy stuff internationally. I do not know whether or not this is going to make its appearance in the States or not. I hope so. Here's what the bottle looks like. It is a solid black labeled bottle, which of course is quite annoying. I've said this before about there's a lot of Highland Park whiskeys like this. There's also, you know, the Bruichladdich Black Arts. If they could just put a little clear line here just down the side so you could see what the fill level is, that would be ideal. But they don't. It is what it is. Here's what the bottle looks like. Very different looking bottle for an AnCnoc. Hey, so for those of you who don't know, AnCnoc is a Highland single malt. It is a very kind of mineral, heavy whiskey. They fly a little bit under the radar, I guess I would say, and shouldn't, because they're fantastic. They make really good stuff. All of their stuff is non-chill filtered natural color and 46%, with the exception of their 12-year-old, which is still a malt worth picking up. For you, if you're looking for reviews, I did review their 24-year-old last year. It was my whiskey of the year for 2020, and for good reason. But this one, while they are not a whiskey maker that normally makes things that are heavily peated, this is as heavily peated as it gets. They do have some other peated whiskeys in their range that you can get here in the States. This Peatheart, however, is the most peated of them all. And for a Highland whiskey, sort of strange. So that's the tail of the tape here. Let's get this bad boy in the glass and get things started here on a Tasty Tuesday. There is no age statement. So we do not quite know what the deal is with this, but here's what it has to say. Throughout the Scottish uplands, most extensively in the north and west, you will find the heart of the peatlands. Remote and isolated, yet rich in iconic wildlife, this environment rules the landscape and provides a valuable fuel for the whiskey making process. That's what it has to say on the bottle. On the tube, yes, AnCnoc does not come from a distillery called AnCnoc. It comes from a distillery called Knockdo, not to be confused with Knockando. Yeah, they talk a little bit about the history of peat and all of that kind of thing. Peatiness can be controlled by the amount of peat burnt and the humidity of the barley. Peat smoke produces chemicals called phenols, and it is by its phenol content that a whiskey's, quote, peatiness can be measured. This phenol content is expressed as ppms, and to ensure consistency, Peatheart uses barley specified by our master blender malted to 40 ppm. So that's their story about the ppms here. Now, I will just mention for folks who are new and maybe don't know as much about this or not that far on their journey, peat, there is a distinction between peat and smoke. A lot of peaty whiskeys, a lot of smoky whiskeys, most smoky whiskeys are peated, but not all peated whiskeys are smoky. This one, we're going to find out. So this is what the Peatheart looks like. And boy, is that a natural color or what? How do you know? Well, it's not shining like it's got some fake gold liquid in it. It's very light. It looks like an art bag for that matter. We'll get into this in just a sec. I see we've got a few other folks joining us. Ben Demon Hunter is in the house. What's up? Donner Passes. I've had the Cutter. Yeah, 20 ppms. Yeah, Cutter is one of those releases that they did. And yeah, Andrew Page has had that one as well. Yeah. Yep. And he's doing Dark Origins. Very nice. Haven't seen it in the US. Cutter can still be found. Yeah, 60, 70 bucks. Yeah, the Peatheart is, I think this one was about 60, 70 dollars. I think it was like 45, which is 45 British pounds, 55 euros. I think this is, and there's something I want to talk to you a little bit about after we taste this, about like ordering internationally and kind of the theory behind it, or at least the theory that I follow when I decide to make international orders, and why this Peatheart ended up in my hands. You'll learn a little bit about that in a second. So first and foremost, though, we're going to taste this bad boy and get things started. Again, that's the color, 46%, non-chill natural, no age statement. Very peated. And you can tell by the density and effervescence that you get from it. It is not intensely smoky on the nose, at least. There's a little bit of like a bonfire, kind of campfire, fresh, like a fresh cut wood campfire. It's not that dark kind of sooty road tar that you get from an art bag, or that medicinal note from a Lafroig, or that kind of deep maritime heavy smoke you get from a Lagavulin. This is much lighter when it comes to the smoke. It's more in the like Brook, Port Charlotte range. A lot of citrus. And, Brook, Port Charlotte, and even more so Kalila. Lemon, lime, pineapple, tropical fruits. There's, again, this heavy kind of minerality to it, which is very signature from AnCnoc. Some apple, lemon, lime, like I said. All in all, a very pleasant, assertive nose, something you'd expect from a nice peated whiskey. But it is very much, it's sweet, it's spicy, and it's citrus forward. If I was going to distill it down to just a couple things. Quite nice. All right, let's give it a taste. Happy Tasty Tuesday, everybody. Slaunch. Wow. Very intense. Oh boy. This is exactly what you want if you're a peathead. So here's what's happening with this whiskey. You know what? I got to do another taste first. If I was going to compare this to anything on Islay, this is Kalila. However, unlike Kalila, this expression, Kalila, I find to be a bit more citrus, a bit like more pear, tropical fruit, even vegetal to some degree. This, the barrel influence is really showing itself. It is much creamier, much kind of sweeter barrel influenced. I think this is, it does not say what it's been aged in on here, but I'm guessing that this is a first fill bourbon. And the reason I say that is because the caramel, vanilla, the brown sugar is very, very intense on this, and it's counterbalancing the peat much more than like a citrus acidity. So it is not as acidic as I tend to get off something like a Kalila, but has a lot of similarities. There's a floral note, chocolate. You get a nice heavy punch of this nice peaty chili pepper, chili powder kind of note. It's juicy. And the finish goes on for a while. The smokiness really comes in on the back end of the development and into the finish. So you get this kind of ashiness in the background, charcoal. Again, the peat effervescence is there, dense, concentrated, strong stuff. Quite nice. You know, if I was going to actually make something I think is even more comparable to this, if you've had it before, is the Aaron Macramore. It's fresh. It's even got some funk to it. It has some of that kind of limestone minerality. This is good stuff. I really like the sweet caramel, vanilla, brown sugar thing that this has going on. And then the chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, kind of both of them working together. A little bit of a sourness at the end, but it's playing really well with this. This is good stuff. I'm going to try water in just a sec, but let me catch up on the chat. I really like the bottling of the classic Lottie that I purchased earlier this month, but it is really annoying. Yeah, I agree with you on that completely. Greetings, our boy Cohen, SoCal. What is happening in Los Angeles Metro? How are you, buddy? No AnCnocs yet. Okay. If Silverlock was going to try an AnCnoc, which way does he go? I think you go straight for the 18 or that 24, considering it's such a good price. The 12 is good. I think it'll give you a good sense of their style. If I was going to compare, I mean, what distilleries, folks in the chat, like if for those of you who have drank AnCnocs before, if you were going to compare it stylistically to another malt, which way would you go? So the first thing that comes to mind for me is maybe Craigellachie. That might be a close one. Zach, I'm just here for the Balcones. You lied to me. Hour number 2, buddy. Good to see you, though, man. Thanks again for that, finding that bottle. I gave you a little shout at the beginning of the show. So, James Morgan, London, UK, on the other side of the pond. Good evening to you, sir. Oh, kid troubles for some of our friends. Mr. London, yeah, indeed. Fruity Pete sounds pretty. Yeah, this is definitely got that going on it for sure. Good evening, James. Great to see you, man. Demon Hunter. Folks are chatting about whiskeys. Mike Myers in the house. What's up? Oh, no more Guns N' Roses. It's Queensryche. Good to see you, Mike. Thanks for stopping through. We got 23 folks in the chat. Awesome, man. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out tonight. Vancouver area. It's Indy. Hello. We are chatting about AnCnoc Peatheart. And I will tell you right now, I have not had the Cutter, which is another peated AnCnoc, which I know is more available in the States. And I want to buy it after drinking this. This is quite good. It's rich. It's got some complexity. Would love to see an age statement on it, but is what it is. Again, it has these nice fruity elements to it, as somebody alluded to. And I was saying, like, it's got a nice pear citrus fruitiness. A lot of influence from the bourbon cask. I'm almost convinced this is first fill bourbon. Great nose. fresh. Really enjoyable stuff. I will be doing a full review of this, but I'll tell you right now, preliminary final on this. This is like probably a 3.5 to 3.75 whiskey. I might even push it higher given the cost, which we're going to talk a little bit about after this. So I just did some water. Let's see what else happens here. Oh man, there's a nice kind of white chocolate coffee thing going on now too. It's great. They've done it again, man. Do not sleep on AnCnoc, folks. This distillery kills it. Oakiness, maple syrup, slight hints of it, root beer, kind of that carbonated effervescence, which is definitely coming from the peat. Boy, I mean, this you could put up with against some of the heavy hitters on Islay. It doesn't quite have the like heavy smokiness, like I said, of a Lagavulin, but boy, if you could just see this with like a 12-year age statement, a 10-year, 8-year, it'd be great. This is much better than the Ardbeg Wee Beastie. It's not Ardbeg 10, but it's closer. It's a bit richer and creamier than an Ardbeg 10, not as assertive. Lafroig, it's not like Lafroig at all. I think Kalila and Ardbeg are the things that it's kind of closest to with that citrus note, that lemon lime. All right. Even with water for an NAS, this holds it. It holds. It does not fall apart with 3 drops of water. Chili spice. Rich, creamy, heavy, long development, medium long finish, all the chocolates. I'm digging it. You know, it is an NAS. It doesn't quite have the depth maybe you would want, but we are talking about a non-age statement whiskey here. There's a nice mint at the end now, too. In fact, I think water actually, it didn't take away any of the creaminess, which is what I was worried about. And instead, it actually just kind of livened up some of the spice even more so. This is a good one, y'all. Yeah, I'm in that 3.5, 3.75 preliminary score on this. I'll do a full review eventually, but this isn't one to sleep on. And at the price, you're looking at about 40 pounds, 45 pounds, which is about, $55, $60 US. This is a good one. So major kudos to the AnCnoc Peatheart, another good AnCnoc release from a distillery that I think does not get the love it deserves. Maybe it's better it stays that way, lest it, go the route of Ballblair or these others and kind of dull their whiskeys down and lose some of its characteristic style. But I do want to talk a little bit about the price on this. But before I do that, I just want to give folks a heads up. So if you didn't notice in the description, we're doing a 2-hour live stream tonight. As advertised, hour number 1, we're checking out this AnCnoc. In hour number 2, I'm going to merge in a show I was going to do last night, which is checking out 2 single malt whiskeys from Texas, Balcones Distillery, just outside Waco. I have 2 store picks from them. I have a Texas store pick and an Illinois store pick. Again, hats off to Zach Andrews and Daniel for procuring the Texas version of this. That is aged completely in French oak. The Illinois version store pick that we're going to check out is aged in European oak. So we're going to check out those 2 in hour number 2. But what I want to talk a little bit about now and just kind of share my thoughts on, and I would love to hear from folks, particularly folks in the US who maybe have more access than, unfortunately, some of our friends in Canada do, is buying whiskey internationally. So The reason I bring this up is because specifically of this AnCnoc Peatheart. And why? So generally, I find if you look at websites like Whiskey World, which is one of the better international UK in specific shipping websites, you can buy a lot of hard to find single malt Scotch whiskeys. You can find a lot of single malt Scotch whiskeys at cheaper prices than you find them if they're on the shelf in the US. However, the rub is always the shipping. So if you go to websites like the Whiskey Exchange, you're going to see like, oh my God, like it's like $80 for shipping. So it basically neutralizes any of your savings. What I tend to do is I like to try to find one or two older bottlings, which I'm finding at a considerable discount. For example, I have a Bunnahabhain 25-year-old behind me and a Glenfarclas 21 cask strength behind me. Both of these are whiskeys I bought internationally. Both of, in the case of the Glenfarclas 21, that is not a whiskey you can find in the US. But price-wise, it was, $180 UK, right? That's pretty cheap for a cask strength 21, considering that the regular 43% 21 here in the States, you'll find it about like $130. So you're paying $50 more for literally cask strength. In the case of the Bunnahabhain 25, that is a whiskey that's upwards of $600 sometimes in the US. I got that for under $400. I think it was like $330, $340 from the UK. Similar with a Balcones Tune 1509, which is behind my head, right there, under $350. But then you have the issue of shipping, right? And what you'll find is you're pretty much setting yourself up to spend like $1,000 in order to like get everything you want, and then the shipping neutralizes the savings. Whiskeys like this, AnCnoc Peatheart, which are like $50, $60, great things to add to your international shipping basket. Why? Because it's the whole economy is a scale thing, right? So one bottle shipped might be $50, but 2 bottles shipped might be $65. 3 bottles shipped might be $72, et cetera, et cetera. Similar to how it is when you buy things in the US. So like if you're trying not to break your bank, but want to get that one rare older whiskey or get that one that you don't want to pay US prices for, a great way to lower your shipping costs while still getting some unique stuff. Bottles like this, AnCnoc Peatheart. Bottles like Glenfarclas, there's a Glenfarclas 45, which is not 45 years old, but it's like a special release. You get all these like interesting special release bottlings over in the UK that are cheaper. And you can kind of add those on to lower that shipping cost, keep your value high. And so you're not necessarily having to break the bank, buying 3 rare bottles that's going to cost you, an arm and a leg. You throw a few of these little interesting bottles on that usually are quite good that you can't find in the US. And not only are you getting some new stuff that you can't find, but you're getting that bottle that you're prizing. So one of the things that I really try to do when I'm buying things internationally is, basically finding that one bottle, maybe sometimes 2 of something that like I really want, but don't want to pay the US price for. And then I'll supplement my order. Things like the AnCnoc Peatheart, things that I find on their website. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. I've never seen that in the US. Let's throw that on. Oh, it's only 35 pounds, $50. Okay. And you're getting it not only at a deal, but you're getting something rare and unique, and you're lowering that shipping cost. That is how I came across this one in particular, and glad I did, because it's a damn good whiskey. So it's one of the things I just wanted to mention to folks, because I do know that, like, increasingly with the costs that we're seeing in the U.S., and, hopefully some of those are going to come down with the lowering of the tariffs, but that, there's still stuff that you can just get a lot cheaper from the U.K. And there's a lot more rarer bottles or stuff that you cannot find in the U.S. that you can get in the U.K. Keep an eye on the ABVs. There are some whiskeys in the U.K. that, while they're 43% here, they're 40 there. But like by and large, most of the time, again, websites like Whiskey World, I've got some single cask Cavalans I've got there for under $200. That's a great website to look at. Keep an eye on those types of places. Whiskey Exchange can be good as long as you're very prudent about your buying, because again, the the shipping costs is the thing you want to keep an eye on. You don't have to pay tax on it, and you don't have to pay VAT or value-added tax, which is a big thing in Europe. We don't do that in the U.S., strangely. So that is one of my strategies for buying things online from the UK, and I'd love to hear if other folks have other things that they do. The last thing I'll mention is that most of these places will ship to any state in the U.S. So if you live in a state, I lived in Pennsylvania for 2 years, which is a state that has very strict liquor laws. In fact, the state government has a liquor control board, which controls all private sale or all sales of liquor in Pennsylvania. So there's no, Joe's Liquor on the corner. Everything is the government store. And yet I could still buy things online from the UK that they would ship here or would ship there rather. So I just wanted to share that with folks and see what folks were thinking, if other folks have things to say about that. Yes, it is, man. Oh my God. Been a rough 24 hours. For sure. Let me catch up here on the chat. I'm way behind. So forgive me if I kind of go over, skip over some folks. Wow. Oh, that's a good pour. Nathan Redmond is not playing on a Tuesday. You're busting out the Lafroig Amontillado. Tell me what you think. I'm assuming you've probably had some of the others. How does that one rank for you? Well, Ben Romick has a little bit of peat. They're both distilleries that I respect in that they kind of fly under the radar but make good juice. But Ben Romick has a bit more of a diverse range than AnCnoc does. But in terms of I have not yet had the Ben Romick peat smoke. I have a bottle of it. I'll open it soon. I don't know if I've had a Ben Romick so far that stands up to this peat smoke or tends up to this Peatheart. At Malt Muser, glad to do it. Let me know if there are any others. Definitely will. Jack says AnCnoc 18s look good, juicy Altmar. Hell yeah. Love that stuff. I have an unopened bottle of AnCnoc 18. Oh yeah. That's a good one to open. I was talking to a manager at Paul Dunn Distillery yesterday, and he told me that Christmas edition 2021 is almost ready. Spanish wine. Oh, nice. For folks who were tuning in earlier this year, when I got my first bottle of the Christmas edition 2020 Paul John, which I'm a huge fan of, that whiskey could very easily make my top 5 of the year. And our buddy here in India, he's got the inside scoop. That is awesome to hear, man. Thank you, Mahir. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on a bottle of those. Telex is off this week. He's traveling. So next week, Telex and Malt Show will be back on, but we're going to do 2 hours here of happy hour. So next week, Telex and I will be doing, we're going to do Linkwood. Awesome, man. We got 27 folks in, which is so cool, man. Cheers to everybody, man. Slancha. 28. My bad. Having some of that Compass Box 2020 228. Interesting. What's that? He's on assignment. Yeah, we'll see. He's in Kentucky, his home state. I'm speculating on whether or not he's going to come back with the bourbon. I'm not sure I've convinced him that he likes bourbon enough. Yeah, I got to keep an eye out for that. Jumping off to get new binoculars from his face. Hey, cheers, Ben. Good to see you, man. Would it compare to live? That's a good question. No, it's just not as smoky, but it's cool. Lagavulin 8 much more than like Lagavulin 16. Most definitely. Cotter, yeah. Okay, good to know. Besides Octomore, what is the peatiest smokiness? Well, okay, so that's a great question. So I was on a live stream. This was probably about a year and a half ago. It was I think it was a private stream with the Philadelphia Whiskey Society where we had somebody from Diageo, a Diageo rep on, talking about Lagavulin and all this. And they were talking about the White Horse bottlings and all this. And they said that look, the human palate really can't detect the intensity of peat at scale after like 30 ppms. So like basically, yes, the 40 will taste peatier than the 30, but not 10, not that extra 100% more, right? Like the 10 reduces to like a 2. So yeah, the idea that like the octomores, which are like 100, there's some that are like 180, there's some that are over 200, like you're actually tasting all that peat is, according to them, not true. And similar with like Lagavulin. So like the peat level is not always the best indicator of the like smoky intensity. Ardbeg 10, I think, is 35. Laphroaig 10 is like 30. But I'll tell you right now, I think the Laphroaig 10 is more of an intense whiskey experience than this Peatheart is, even though this is more ppm. So I think the ppm thing is kind of a marketing thing. I'm happy to be wrong about that, but like I don't think if you're looking for just an intense peated whiskey, it's not necessarily the barometer you should use. And maybe it'll be fun sometime to like try to do like one of these octomores, compared to something that we know is less ppms, and just really try to see if we can notice it. But from what I hear, not much you can really actually notice, and it's more of a marketing thing. For smokiness, I go Ugadal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You nailed it right there. That's a good one. They sure do, Cody. No doubt about that. Oh, interesting. Good to know. How's the move back to your parents' base? Hey, it's Whiskey Throttle. It's good. They clearly gave me complete leverage to kind of design it how I want. So here we are. Good to see you, man. Great to have Throttle in the house and another friend from Canada. Port Charlotte. Green Valley, my first time. Hey, welcome to the show, Green Valley. Thank you for joining us here on a Tasty Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday. Usually it's a 1-hour show, and then we go over to my tasting colleague Telex, the Whiskey Text channel, for another 2 hours. However, he's gone this week, so we're doing a 2-hour live stream happy hour here on the Malt Music channel. So great to have you. If you're cool with letting us know what city you're in, I do like to give shout outs to folks based on where they're located, city or state for that matter. Doesn't matter. If you're in the US or country, whatever, let us know. I would do my best to remember everybody's location and shout it out appropriately. AnCnoc is owned by the same people who own Old Pulteney and Balcones. Yes, Edgerton Group. Yep. Totally right. You're totally right. And if you've noticed over the last couple of years, they've remarketed those two, Old Pulteney and Balcones, and not for the better, in my opinion. Folks, welcome in Green Valley. Yeah, show them some love. That's awesome. Appreciate that, y'all. Welcome. Evening. We all had one. Green Valley, welcome. Shipping. Yeah, and 700 ml bottles. That's true. With tariffs going away, do you think the prices are going to come down on single malts? I don't know. I mean, I don't think demand went down, so I'm not sure they're going to lower prices. I'm not sure the incentive is there, but we'll see. I hope so. There you go. The more you buy, the lower the shipping is. Yep, if you can save up your pennies for a month and do a big buy all at once, that's the way to go. Redmond says, I wanted to buy a few bottles from overseas, but shipment always makes me not do it. Really wanted Tobermory 12 and Talisker Port Rouge, but they aren't safe. Yeah, so like this is a really good example. So like, I first of all, I totally hear you. I know exactly what you mean. It's annoying. But what you can do, find a website. Again, look, Whiskey World is one that I mentioned. I think there's multiple others. There's like Hedonism Wines. I think I'm trying to think now. Whiskey Exchange, Fine Casks. Like these are websites where like if you can find enough things that you want, what I try to do, I'm not loaded, so I try to hold off and then do a big bulk purchase at once to lower that shipping cost and get everything I want at once. So like, throw this in your cart, sit on them for a little bit. Maybe you'll find another whiskey or two. And again, that shipping cost from overseas is high, but it'll drop and you're not paying the tax. So like a way to kind of approach it is like, yeah, you're not going to buy 1 or 2 bottles. Like maybe try to buy 4, right? Just try to get a bunch of things you want at once, make a good purchase, but then you're getting it at good prices because that shipping cost will go down dramatically. Story of the Spaniard. Nice, man. It's here all the time. Are you talking about your STD problems? This is not the forum for that. Yeah, true. You guys did, but you gave me a good price on that. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Mostly Kleinlich. Oh, I see what you're saying. Throttle says, a testament to 1,000 years of subterranean pressure. Simply the ideal way to run. Yeah, no, you're completely right. However you see it, there's no doubt that the earthy reek of a peat fire makes a distinctive flavor of whiskey, but you have to know how to control it. Yeah, 100%. You're nailing it. You're nailing it, Throttle. Absolutely. In short, higher ppms the peat. Yeah, the peater, but like to some, like that's true. But what has been speculated is that like if I poured you a bottle of a 200 ppm whiskey and a 50 ppm whiskey, the 200 will not taste 300 times, 300% more peated than the 50 because you literally can't taste. Like our taste buds just can't taste that much. So while it's heavily peated in, super heavily peated, like a Octomore, it's not delivering at the same level because you can't actually pick up those flavors. That's what I've heard. I tend to think that my personal experience drinking whiskey, I've noticed that. But again, happy to be wrong about it. Yeah. A lot of variables for sure. There you go. AnCnoc PD carries a note of the phenol content. Yeah. Too funny. Too fucking funny. All right, so I'm gonna do just a little bit more of this Peatheart, and then I got to figure out a way to kind of just get my palate set up for the Balcones that we're gonna do in hour number 2. I do appreciate everybody, and we got 25 folks still in the chat, which is awesome, man. I appreciate everybody hanging out for this longer view. This is not normally the format. Usually I'd be dropping a link in so y'all can join Telex, but he is out exploring his home state of Kentucky. So again, hope you have safe travels. We'll be back next week for that show. We'll be doing Linkwoods. But we got another hour of Whiskey Happy Hour coming your way. We're going to be checking out some Balcones, which I'm going to get into in about 10 minutes. But first, before we do that, as some folks mentioned, they're noticing something a little different in the Midwest malt den here. And that is my sleepy friend over here, which I think it's time for him to make an appearance because he's been sleeping all day. Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, yeah. Well, don't bring that with you. So I'll take a second and introduce you all to Winston. This is Winston. He is my new cat as of this weekend. He's a Russian blue, long hair. As you can see, he's got this huge long tail. He's my new Winston the Whiskey cat. He's been hanging out, keeping an eye on the carcasses back there, and just generally an awesome friend to have around. So he's making his YouTube debut. Waka waka waka. Thank you, Winston. You can go back to sleep because he's a sleepy bastard. He had a long trip here from. He's actually came from a different state, and so he was part of a big travel over the weekend. So he's been a little bit tired, haven't you? But he'll be hanging out with us as we go forward here on the Whiskey Chats and doing his thing. And yeah, he's awesome. Really enjoying his company so far for the last couple of days. Balcones makes me sad. with the drama with Chip Tate. That I do not know about. Do enlighten us. What's up, Winston? You stretching it out? You getting ready? Yeah. He's ready for hour number 2. I might have to pour him a single malt himself. Ben Demon Hunter, no fan. James is. No, so he actually came with the name Winston, and yeah, I kind of feel like it's a good name for him, so I'm going to keep it. Yes, that's very true. California, New York too, but New York's, you're lucky to find a state that, you're lucky to find places that ship from New York there. They got strict laws there. Balcones peated is a beast. Oh, my man. Yeah, Donner Pass and I are doing a little whiskey swap. Man, I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. What's the website you recommended to buy scotches from the UK? Whiskey World. The Whiskey World. Look for The Whiskey World. That's a really good one. Hey, cheers, man. Appreciate it. So that's kind of my vibe. Yeah, he's more of a Winston Smith 1984. That's what I was kind of thinking about it. It does want my blood. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. He had one job, and that was to defend the carcasses over the day, but he just falls asleep. So, what can you do? Peter White, you like it? Great, man. That's great to hear. I enjoyed it really. I enjoyed it, pretty good as well. It's very heavy on the sherry, and it's just great to see Lefroy with a sherry whiskey out. Something, hopefully that'll be in their core range. All good, Ben. Yes, indeed. I am a fan. Yeah, I do enjoy their company. All right, y'all. I'm going to do a brief intermission. I'm going to do a quick shuffle over to Take a Quig, and I'll be back in just a hot second here to do some to get into these balcones. So sit tight. All right. We're back. Yeah, I mean, these days, geez, I don't know if you can find a cheaper scorch than that. Just got the kill home. You did. Have you opened it? That I got to know about. I've seen that, as I'm kind of hit and miss with Kilhoman's. Some of them I really like, others I don't love. And that PX really caught my attention. I saw that they put that out. I'd be really curious. Seriously. We don't have just another hour. We are privileged to. What's happening, Mr. Winston? He's just living his best life, man. He's a rescue. He went from living not a good life, and I'm going to do my damn best to give him the best life he can have. So looking forward to it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. That's funny. Really, that far away? Wow, that's hilarious. Well, I'll edit that out. Too funny, man. Too funny. I wouldn't have thought I had to. Man, the Balcones crowd is up in here. Yeah, the CR is probably the one. I mean, obviously, that's the one to get if you have a choice between the two. All right. I'm going to get these Balcones in the glass. And in about 5 minutes, we'll start chatting about them. Just got to remember which is which here. All right. There's that. Wow. Hell of a difference. Otherwise. Mogriz, good evening, all. Just wondered if Winston is a bacon kitty, like on the Whiskey Crusaders. Probably, yeah. I've avoided giving him bacon yet, but yeah, definitely. He's definitely not trying to avoid anything that I eat. So I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow morning when I make a nice greasy bacon and egg breakfast to get my day started. Maybe I'll test out that theory. Cheers, Mo. What's up, buddy? He's back. It should be. They are really making good stuff. And yeah, I got a couple things I'll share about Balcones. I am no expert, but I definitely have some thoughts on it. And we'll talk about that relatively short. My kitty is a ham kitty, says Donner Pass. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. We got those two Balcones sitting there getting ready. What else we got going on? Yeah, they are from outside Waco, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Yeah. I think they're from just outside Waco. If Zach Andrews is still in the house, he'll let us know. What are you doing down there, buddy? This is going to be a thing. Yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before they come out with a David Koresh themed Branch Davidian mesquite, something like that. I don't know. We'll see about that. Great to have you, Mo. Yeah, good evening to you as well. Friday. Zach is the wacko. Yeah, they're in the middle of the city. Okay, there you go. Maybe I'll pour a small jam of Balcones peated. Need to share the rest of the sample with Lucas. Yeah, do it. Why not? Pour some in the glass. I have not had the peated. I've been lucky to have a bunch of them courtesy of a friend of the show, Daniel, who's in the chat. Again, thank you for... He has sent me some really good samples of Balcones over the last, year or so, which has been awesome. I mean, stuff that I'm not able to find. Cheers, buddy. Thank you, man. Always good to see you, Throttle. Hope you and yours are well. I know it's been a tough go for you with your pops, man. Much love to you. Another Balcones peated. All right. Take good care, Throttle. Yes, Balcones. Yep. All right. So here we are. It is top of the hour. We're going to do another hour here of happy hour. So I appreciate everybody for hanging out. If you're not a subscriber yet, and you're enjoying the show, smash that subscription button. It'll make sure you don't miss any of my reviews that drop every Friday. I also do this happy hour every Tuesday, 8 until 9 p.m. Eastern, although in this case we're going until 10 Eastern. And if you're interested in joining and supporting on Patreon, always love that. You get early access to the reviews. You get first dibs on different sample giveaways that I do, and amongst other things that'll be coming up this year. So appreciate all the support folks give the ways they can. And with that, we're going to kick off the second hour here of Tasty Tuesday Happy Hour here with your humble friend Malt Muser, beaming his signal from the Midwest Malt Den in the second city, the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois. So here's what I got going for you tonight. Balcones Distillery. They're from Texas. They are probably the vanguard of the Texas whiskey boom, the Texas whiskey scene, whatever you want to call it. And what I have in particular here are two store picks of a single malt. So much like a Scotch, we're talking single malt whiskey here. They come looking like this. There's a regular single malt that they do, which I believe is all primarily an ex-bourbon. However, the ones that we're going to be looking at tonight are store picks. So I have two of them. The first one is from Binny's here in Chicago. It has the state of Illinois sticker on the side. This is about 2.5 years old, distilled on January 10th, 17, bottled July 19th, 2019. And it is entirely aged in European oak. The second one that we have here is the Maltzilla. This was sent to me via purchase from, who did I pay for this? Zach Andrews and Daniel down in Texas, representing the big state. This is aged in French oak. So this is a variation on a special release they did called the Froke French oak cask. This one in particular, bottled April 4th, 2017. I'm sorry, distilled April 4th, 2017, bottled August 24th, 2020. So we're looking a little over 3 years. Here's the deal with Balcones. So they've been putting out a ton of unique whiskeys. I have done a review of their Brimstone, which is a heavily mesquite smoked whiskey. Really, really fun one to try. You can go back in the archives on my channel and check that out if you are interested. Yeah, come here. You want to jump up? Just jump up. Additionally, this one in particular, so they do bourbon, they do a rye, they do they do this single malt. And as I mentioned, the regular one that you'll find on the shelf, this is around a $70 whiskey on the shelf. But if you can find store picks, pick them up because they have these unique maturations. The thing that I really have grown to appreciate about Balcones is something that, you know, along my malt journey, I've more and more become aware of and realized is that when it comes to like what makes a good whiskey, I think the biggest indicator is the quality of their casks. I mean, we are looking here at two whiskeys that are 2 to 3 years old, right? But as you'll see as I taste these, they're absolutely fantastic. And this is because they're using quality barrels, quality casks. Another one that does that, Bruichladdich with their Octomore series. They have 5-year-old Bruichladdich Octomores. There's a couple 8-year-olds. There's a 3-year-old. And the amount of influence that these quality barrels have mask over, in many ways, the youthfulness of the spirit. Conversely, whiskeys that are aged for a long time in casks that maybe aren't so good. I'm thinking about the U.S. regular releases of Glenfarclas 25, which are tired old casks that you're just not getting the depth and complexity in. Age is important. I think an age statement is always a good thing, but the casks at the end of the day are king. So don't sleep on young whiskeys just because they're young. You might be in for a surprise when you have something of the caliber that we're about to taste here, which are very young whiskeys, 2 years, 3 years, that both are like high quality in the amount of flavor that's imparted here. And I think that has everything to do with the fact that they're paying for quality casks. All right, you. We're just going to put you up here for now. So first and foremost, the first thing that we're going to get into is going to be, this is the Balcones Texas release. It is called Maltzilla. Again, shout out to Zach Andrews and to Daniel for procuring this bottle for me. This one is bottled at 65.2% ABV. So this is a cask strength pick if there ever was one. It is never chill filtered or colored, as they say explicitly on here. Mad props. And just look at this. This is a 3-year-old whiskey. Look at how dark this whiskey is. Okay. French oak. What can you expect from French oak? French oak is you will get much more. It is a dessert style. I think that the oak that they use, it imparts a lot of kind of creamy flavors, kind of more bourbony, darker flavors, nuttiness to a whiskey, which is a unique thing that you don't necessarily find in things outside of just ex-bourbon casks. So this French oak is definitely going to impart that type of flavor. And as you can see here in the glass, I mean, look at how dark that is. This is a 3-year-old whiskey, y'all. This is the quality of the cask right here. I want to compare it quickly to, this is the Illinois store pick. I got this here in Chicago. This is European oak. European oak, much more fiber in the oak, much spicier. When you see European oak in any type of whiskey, you're going to get a lot more oak spice character. That's the color of this one, which is about 2.5 years. So French oak, European oak. Color difference, pretty obvious. These are two different styled whiskeys, but again, both of these bottles are testaments of like the quality of casks. So the first one we're going to do is the Maltzilla, which is the Texas Single Malt whiskey from Balcones. Let me just catch up here on the chat really quick, and then we'll get into it. Let me know if you want a Balcones peated. Yes, I do. No doubt about it. Definitely. All good, Mo. Great to have you here. Silverlock is out. Cheers, Silverlock. Great to see you, man. And again, sending you positive thoughts and vibes, me and the entire community here. I hope you're enduring the best way you can, man. Much love to you. Yeah. All right. Chris S. has had his hands on Balcones before, which is cool. No, yeah. Store picks in general, man, you gotta love. Single malt store picks are always better. Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree. If you can get a store pick of anything, you do it. Any whiskey. You mentioned Glenfarclas really have a love-hate thing with them. They do so many things right, but the reuse cat. Yes, exactly. And you can't get that. Yeah, the 46% 15-year-old Glenfarclas is better than the 25. It's better than the 21 U.S. release, no doubt. And it's that extra 3% ABV. And I think they just use better casks. Glenfarclas is a classic example of a style that you respect. They're family owned. They do things right. They fire copper stills, all of that. But my God, man, that 25-year-old is so tempting at $150. But man, it is a disappointing whiskey in my opinion. And it's simply because, from what I've researched and learned, it's similar to what you're saying. They just use crap casks. No, you can't get the 15 here in the U.S. The Glenfarclas. Awesome, man. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the French oak first. Again, French oak, much more of a dessert style. Again, the color on this is amazing. Shout out to the Godzilla picture. It's Maltzilla. Fury of the French oak. Look at that. Here we go. Oh, so right away, there's the typical Balcones signature distillate note. And the best way I can describe this is like, it's like a spicy sandalwood mixed with like a mesquite. You pick it up in here, but it is wrapped in like creamy layers of, vanilla, marzipan, chocolate, but the spice is there on the nose and it's sticking out. Again, you're not picking up any of those kind of concrete, like literal concrete notes, which I tend to associate with like young distillate. It's not that raw. It smells well aged, even though it's a very vibrant whiskey. $100%. Donner Pass nailed it. There's nice, rich. Yeah, again, and there's like almost some fruit notes to this too. It's hard to pick up what they are, but it's just a general sweet creaminess. Again, with that like kind of mesquite signature distillate, that kind of nice sandalwood spice, almost like Mizunara, but not as rounded, much more aggressive. Again, this is 65%, 65.2%, y'all. Yeah, I mean, more like a bourbon than a scotch. It's almost like you're smelling like a very, like almost like a watered down Booker's in a way. It doesn't have the like aggressiveness of a Booker's, but it has a lot of the spice characteristics. All right, I'm going to give this a taste. Again, Sláinte to the Texas folks, and here we go. Our number 2. Killer. Ton of flavor. Just, man, heavily concentrated. Vanilla, spice, creaminess, and then you get this huge wave of chili pepper. It's juicy chili pepper. Wow. So intense. There's nice hints of like cherry cordial, marzipan kind of almond. Delicious, intense, but delicious, and a nice finish. You get this extra surge at the end. It's almost like dark, overripe red grapes, slightly acidic, slightly tannic, little milk chocolate, little caramel, whipped cream, malted milk balls. Really, really delicious. Okay. That's the Balcones store pick Europe French oak. The next one I'm going to do is we're going from the south to the Midwest. This is the Illinois Binny's store pick. This one a little bit younger, about 2.5 years old. Lighter as well. This is European oak, and as I was mentioning earlier, European oak you find a lot in Scotch, even more than French oak. It imparts a bit more of a spiciness, a bit more of a woodiness, a bit more of a raw kind of sharp flavor notes. Because it's not quite as, I guess, porous, or maybe it's more porous than bourbon. I'm not quite sure, but it no doubt imparts a much more of a spicy wood spice to it. So this is the color on this, and again, I mean, not as dark as the French oak, but still, this is 2.5 years old. Single malt, so it's 100% barley. Non-chill, natural color. Here we go on the nose. Yeah. Right away, this smells like you walked into your grandfather's carpentry room where there's wood shavings all over the floor and an electric bandsaw table set up, and he has been cutting stuff up, and you're getting that sharp, fresh cut wood spice. There's a lot of that in this. There's hints of nutmeg and some other spices, Chinese 5-spice maybe. Behind all that, again, you're still getting that signature Balcones wood spice, mesquite, kind of sweet barbecue spice just in the background. This one is much denser. It's much more concentrated. But sweet, oh man. Again, it smells like you're just burning fresh mesquite outside. It smells delicious. Again, not a lot of hints of the new make, which is great. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, y'all. I can't get over how rich these whiskeys are when they arrive. This is much more drying, sharper, but juicier as well. Oh. I'm going to have another sip of that. There's something happening in here. I can't quite figure it out. This one, by the way, bottled at 64% ABV. So there's a smoked meat quality to this, like pulled pork. There's, if it's like in a sweet barbecue sauce, the spice, it's there, strangely not as assertive as it is on the French oak, but it's there, it's drying, it's dry rub, barbecue dry rub. There's a nice caramel note to this. This one I think is actually more balanced than the French oak. And it has a creaminess to it as well, which I think is it's like a pulled pork sandwich to some degree. There's also a nice kind of, you get some of the vanilla, some of the toffee. It's there. I mean, maybe not toffee. It's more butterscotch. Both of these, sweet and spice, are your dominant notes here. I will say neat. This European oak is edging it out a little bit because it seems a little bit more balanced, which is interesting considering the maturation and the fact that it's like a little younger, under 3 years. But both are really, really tasty. We're going to go in for a little bit of water on both of these now. Again, these are cask strength and almost hazmat level. I mean, these are in the mid 60. The European oak is 64%. I'm going to do 3 drops on each. The French oak is 65.2. So I'm going to go back in here now on the French oak first. I'm sorry, on the European oak. Again, wood, fresh cut wood. I mean, as fresh as you can imagine. Like somebody just split some firewood right in front of you. There is Turkish coffee with this kind of cardamom coriander note. My God. Slight citrus. Again, sweet spice. That's what you're getting on this. Sandalwood, again, like Mizunara, like a Japanese Mizunara aged whiskey. Intense, rich, flavorful, creamy. So much spice. Like the spices are all over the place. There's sweet spice, sweet paprika. Like you ever had smoked paprika like that? It's kind of sweet, like Spanish. It gives like a sweet, smoky quality to things like the ham, you know, putting ham in a pea soup. There's again, this mesquite kind of graininess. I will say the water, it falls apart a little bit on texture. I think the nose is more interesting with water on the European oak, but the palate strangely is like a little bit less interesting. Medium long finish. Again, this reminds me of if you've ever had Turkish coffee in your life, some of the spices that you get out of that, the fragrant spices you get out of that is what you're getting here, coupled with like a kind of grainy, a little bit of honey, vanilla pastry. High accolades here. I mean, so both of these are around like 75, or well, I think they're about $85 bottles. Neat. I think the French or the European oak Illinois store pick one out. If I was going to choose between the two, but now we're going to do a little bit of water on the French oak Texas bottling and see what happens here. Let's see what we get. Again, this one was a bit more creamy or more dessert-like. Let's see what happens here with water. Wow. Huge brown sugar note, dark brown sugar note, molasses. Vanilla extract. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a whiskey that smelled more like vanilla extract than this does. It's brown sugar, like dark brown sugar. It's molasses. It's vanilla extract. There's some slight caramel. There's a little bit of caramel apple. Again, this is the French oak version. Maltzilla. Wow. It smells sticky. Give it a taste. Cheers, y'all. Much more balanced than it was without water. The spice has toned down considerably and in a great way. Stickier, syrupy, vanilla, caramel, white chocolate. Damn. Again, the vanilla extract, like a fresh baked cookie almost. Medium long finish. Hands down, the French oak version with water is better. I would choose that over this one. It's not even. So, yeah. So here's the thing. No matter what state you're in, keep an eye out for Balcones Single Malt store picks. They're going to all have different maturations, which is what's just so incredibly unique here. In the case of the neat tasting, straight out of the bottle, I preferred this Illinois private release over the Texas one, which was the Illinois was European oak. I would say neat. Between the two, the Texas was French oak. I would say that the Texas oak is a 375, or Texas oak. Let me get my thoughts together. The European oak Illinois release 375 out of 5 neat the European oak, the French oak Texas release, 3.5 out or 3.25 out of 5. I think it was kind of a mess. Neat. With the addition of water, these things reverse considerably. I would say that the Illinois European oak drops down to a 3.5, and the French oak Texas single malt, a Texas pick, is up to a 3.75. So where does this land them? Again, they're two very different whiskeys, and they're very different even when you add water. My personal palate, if I was going to choose one, I think I lean towards the Maltzilla French oak, all in all. But they're both 3.5s for me. Both getting close to 3.75s. They're both just right there. The only thing that's going to benefit these is age. I think these are buy whiskeys. Like you grab them, grab any store pick you can. You're not going to be disappointed. They're a journey. They're exciting. I just think with the addition of water, this French oak Texas store pick really showed what it can do. It was a little bit disjointed, neat, and aggressive, but with the addition of water, it really turned around. I'm super impressed. I would even almost push 4 out of 5 with water on this French oak. I want to have another glass of this. With neat, you could see what it wanted to do, but it was still too young and raw. With water, for whatever reason, it shines. The European oak, Illinois, in contrast, very consistent across the board. I think it takes a little step back. Somehow at 64%, it's better neat. But yeah, my pick of the two here is Maltzilla Texas single pick by a hair. Good stuff. I would be really interested to see what else they can do. And I can almost guarantee that for folks who live in other states, if you stumble across a store that has single malt picks from Balcones that you can get your hands on, just buy it without hesitation, no matter what it's matured. They make incredibly quality stuff, and their casks are clearly what are driving both of these, I think, above average whiskeys. So that's what I got for you. Let me catch up on the chat here and just see what's going on. I'm way behind. Indy. That I do not know. I think maybe some of our Canadian friends might know. No, it is reddish purple for sure. I think you were talking about, yeah. No, that is the color. Maltzilla smells way more like Scotch. Interesting. Wow, the color always reminds me of Sherry Magic. Yeah, right? Totally, Mo. Totally. Totally. Yeah. Some of the, hey, what's up, Leo? How are you? Some of the Balcones Single Malt picks have been, holy shit, dude, for real. You're not lying. I'm not sure what state you're in, but I have an Illinois. This is an Illinois pick and a Texas pick, and boy, let me tell you, both of these are really, really good. Really, really good. I do too. Hey, Christopher David's here. What's up, Christopher? How are you, man? Happy Tasty Tuesday. As you've probably realized, we have an extended show tonight. Telex has got the night off. We'll be back next week for Telex and Malt Show doing Linkwood. Cut Spike, Nebraska. Yes, dude. Yes, totally. Hey, Gary, San Francisco, another NoCal represent. We got him and Malt, Dram Dude in the house. Great to see. I had the Mirador. Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a sample from a friend of the show, Daniel here. Loved that stuff. That was really delicious. Yeah, you're totally right. Ben Demon Hunter's getting after it with the peated. Ooh. Okay, Peter. Peter's not playing tonight. Makes sense to have your spice in your print. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. At Malt Muser. It smells like brown sugar bourbon melting on rib. Dude, that's a good, yeah, that's a good way. I definitely got the brown sugar for sure. Charred wood, brown sugar, love the peat. I got to try this peated Balcones. I got to try that. Missed out on the 2020, but found a recent store pick. Maltzilla will win once you have a bit of. Ain't that funny? That's exactly what happened, dude. You weren't lying. So funny, man. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I don't even know what pour he's on him. Yeah, I hope I was trying to be clear. Yeah, tasty Tuesday indeed, man. Yeah, I'm with you. Good stuff. Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Leo said, a buddy gave me a port of Balcones peated. Oh, man, everybody said the Balcones peated but me, man. I got to get in on this. IC86. When Winston figures it I'm laying under. Dude, when I try to work, man, during the day, when he wakes up from his nap already, he's up here trying to make himself seen. It gets a little bit annoying when I'm trying to type some stuff for the deadline. So you know how it goes. I wonder if they had to pay a licensing fee for goes. That's a good. Well, I think there's been some debate about that. I don't know. About like labeling certain things. So like I've had some stuff from the Philadelphia Whisky Society, which had like Rocky Balboa on it and stuff, or whatever, and it was like him punching COVID. It was called the COVID Killer. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I suppose if it gets big enough, they might get attitude about it. But Leo's in Arizona, but I fly to Texas sometime. Okay. Out in the desert. Right on, man. Mahir's heading out. Hey, man, take it easy. Be safe out there. I know India is still dealing with a lot of intense situations around coronavirus, man. I hope you and yours can stay as safe as possible, buddy. Sent you a message on IG. Okay, I'll check that out. Okay. It's got to happen. I'm going to get it. Hey, thank you for that, man. I appreciate it, Daniel. Yeah, if folks want to join, as I said earlier, join at any level. You will get early access to all my whiskey reviews, and will also be part in whiskey raffles. And I like to give out really good samples to folks. The last time I did some samples, it was Yamazaki 12, barrel bourbon number 27, and what was the other one that the winner got? Compass Box Magic Cask. And third place got the bourbon, and second place got the Magic Cask and the bourbon. So yeah, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Mahir's heading out. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this freaking. I'm on the European oak. As you can see, I've finished the French oak Maltzilla. That's delicious. I do not know, like, for our friends in Canada, and I know we have a good contingent of folks up there. I'm not sure if you can get your hands on any Balcones stuff or not, but I do recommend it. I mean, they are really doing some fantastic whiskey. Man. Yeah, these are definitely in the high 3s out of 5, if not, getting close to that 4. They're really good. The only reason I'm hesitant is I'm just curious what's going to happen when they're putting out a 10-year age statement on something like this. That's going to be just something else. Okay. We got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes left. So I'm going to pour something random. See what else we got here. Get one more dram in. I feel like something has to just kind of be the punctuation on this. You know what? I think because we were talking about it earlier, I'm going to do an Octomore. And you know what? Yeah. We're going to do an Octomore. This is a 9.2 Octomore. This one is aged. So this is it's 5 years. The ppms is 156. So 3 times as much as the AnCnoc. A little bit over 3 times. And this one is aged in Sauternes cask, if I'm not mistaken. No. This is red wine Bordeaux casks. So again, this is a 5-year-old Octomore, red wine Bordeaux cask. We'll see. You know what? I'll do it side by side. I know that they're very different maturations, but what we're looking for here is the P level. We'll do that. We'll pour a little bit of this AnCnoc, and we'll see if I can figure out any distinguishable difference in the level of peat. Now, if us as humans can pick up peat at high levels, I should be getting at least 3 times the peat level on this Octomore than I do on this AnCnoc Peatheart. Again, red wine Bordeaux Octomore, AnCnoc Peatheart. We'll let those sit for just a second. They should make it to Canada. Folks in Canada deserve to get their hands on this, for sure. Balcones peated is legit. Yeah, I got to get my hands on this. I have, so just in full disclosure, I have a little bit left of, so I have these 2 Balcones Single Malts. I have Balcones, I have the rye, the regular rye. I have the baby blue, which is like their blue corn kind of intro whiskey. And I have just a bit left of the brimstone, which is the heavily mesquite smoked one. So we're going to do a little peat test here. I'm not sure what to say about whether or not this is going to be definitive. No, I do know what to say. It isn't going to be definitive. Yes, 100%. And I do have an Emercio one, and that's going to be a good tasting to do, for sure. You're 100% right on that. So here we go. Which should I do first? The AnCnoc 40 ppms or the Octomore 156? I think we'll go with the Octomore. Putting the red wine notes aside, I'm trying to concentrate solely on the peat here. It's intense, no doubt. Very, very intense. All right, here we go. Ooh, wow. God, that's so good. Again, putting the red wine notes aside, the peat level, the intensity of this is palpable. Very strong, sharp on the palate, a lot of effervescence, a lot of smoke. Okay. AnCnoc Peatheart. Sweeter, more bourbon, all that. But what we're looking for here is the peat. Does it live up? So my tongue is a little bit numb from the Octomore. So if this maintains that level, then I know that we've struck gold and we can make a statement. See, I'm telling you, it holds its own. The Octomore is maybe slightly more intense, but it's not 3 times more intense. Again, ppm level, Peatheart 40, Octomore 9.2, 156. I am telling you right now, the Octomore is not 3 times more intense than this. It's just not. And so this gives some credibility to the Diageo rep who said, like, look, man, the human palate really can't pick up much more intensity past, like, when it comes to peat, past, 35, 45 ppm. There's no way that Octomore, which is defined as super heavily peated. The Peatheart here is defined as heavily peated. This has 3 times the peat, the Octomore. And I'll tell you right now, it is not 3 times as intense. Take that for what it's worth. I am more convinced now, even than I was at the beginning of the show when we were talking about this, that it's marketing. And I'm not saying it's bad marketing or like it's bullshit. It's just that, like, the reason Octomore is so good is more about the fact that they're using 5-year-old whiskey and getting so much flavor out of it and the cask quality. Similar to the Balcones we were just talking about. Nice bookend, right? The AnCnoc, non-age statement, but it's not 3 times less as intense on the peat level as this. It's just not. So take that for what it's worth when you're out buying stuff. I mean, if you're a big peat head and you're, Octomore is like your North Star and you're like, I want the most intense peated whiskey. I'll tell you right now, man. I mean, if I had a bottle of Lefroy 10, I would bust it out right now, which I don't, unfortunately, and compare it to these. But I'll venture to say right now, just using this AnCnoc NAS whiskey, the intensity of the peat level is not 3 times less than this Octomore. It's just not. Let's go in one more time on the Octomore. I mean, okay. So here's the deal. The Octomore is more intense, but it's not 3 times more intense. It's a little bit smokier. It's not 3 times smokier. It just isn't. Take it for what it's worth. There's a lot of variation in these whiskeys. We all know that, but at its core, at the foundation, I mean, there's an Octomore. In fact, just for the hell of it, is it this one? No. This one? No. One sec. There is one up here. Here. This is Octomore 10 years old, edition 4. This is 208. So this should be 4 times more intense than the Peatheart. Almost 5. $208 ppm. Like, what? Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Smoke heater? Yes. Dryer? Yes. Here we go. Delicious, first of all. Style-wise, very, very similar. Yes, this is a 10-year-old age statement. The AnCnoc has no age statement. But again, put the age statement aside. If it's 208 ppm versus 40, I should notice the difference, right? Let's see. That's 208. This is 40. I'll tell you right now, the AnCnoc is more intense. That's 4 times less parts per million of peat than this Octomore. And I'll tell you right now that this AnCnoc is more intense. If I was going to order it in intensity, the most intense from the peat notes, Octomore 9.2, 156. Second, AnCnoc Peatheart, 40 ppm. Third, Octomore 10 years old, 208 ppm. So there you go. It's marketing, in my opinion. I think it's marketing. That was fun. Wow. Anyways, we got a few more minutes to hang out. I got about 15 minutes more, which is awesome. Yes, I think you're totally right. I do have a bottle of the MRC01. I quite like it. I've been waiting to do a review of it. I need to do it soon. I think you're right. I think it should be a comparison video because they're both red wine finished or matured. Finished, and they're both heavily peated. Cheers, Donner. Look for 36 months. That's where the magic happens. Balcones equals phenomenal class. Yes, I'm with you on that. Balcones week of peat, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry, Balcones, Balvenie. I'm a big fan of Balvenie. In fact, I do have a bottle of week of peat back there. I think I should do so I've been planning a blind first fill sherry. I don't know, what do you want to call it? A tournament. I mean, I know other people have done this before, but I have enough of them now that I kind of feel like I want to do that. I think I should do a peated tournament too. 8 peated whiskeys, 8 sherry whiskeys, and just do them and see where it goes. But yeah, I'll tell you right now. I mean, I think the ppm thing is marketing. I don't think from this one tasting, and I should do a couple more just to build up enough of a sample size. I don't think either of these Octomores are exponentially more heavily peated in terms of how they taste than that AnCnoc. Gary knows what's up. He got a single malt. Yep. Hey, Chris, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping through. Gary's got him, dude. Gary got a 65.4% ABV Balcones store pick. Hell yeah. You must have got like a California edition, right? Europe. Oh, interesting. So it's European cask. Okay. So that's similar to this Illinois bottling that I have here. This one is 64%. That's awesome, man. And we still got 25 folks in, man, which is awesome, man. I appreciate everybody hanging out. If you're enjoying the show, before you guys bounce out, subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate that. I'm getting real close to that 1,000 mark. I think I'm at, 8? What am I at these days? 840 something? 845. Okay. So, yeah, would love your support on that. And if you're already subscribed, man, hit that thumbs up. 42 months, he says. Tried to open the Port Charlotte 10 just now. Oh, no, it broke on you? Oh, man, Leo, that sucks. I have only had that happen to me once, and it was on a bottle of Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Damn, that sucks. He says, the malt user, I agree. Higher ppm just means it's better cost. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Oh, man. T's and P's going out to Leo. That's a bummer. Oh, delicious. Delicious whiskey right there. Hell yes, it is. Indeed. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Gary's got those K&L store picks, man. That's the California. Those are California people for us, man. They get K&L. Great store. James Chang. What's up, James? Thanks so much for your 36 plus advice on Balcones to Daniel H. We'll be buying it. Yeah, do it. Do it without hesitation. Malt Muser, Gary, Zach. I didn't tell you guys, but there's a bottle and bond 60-month-old blue corn Balcones whiskey. Oh, I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, look, y'all, like the Balcones thing is real. The Texas whiskey thing is real. Like they're making just stellar stuff. What they're doing with young new make spirit is, look, I mean, if there's a corollary, it's Octomore. The thing that makes Octomore so great isn't the super peatedness. The super peatedness, if anything, is probably just masking the youth. But their cask quality is phenomenal. And that is why you can buy a bottle of Octomore that tastes so damn good, and it's 4 years old, 5 years old, 3 years old, 8 years old. It's fantastic juice. And that's why. And I appreciate they put an age statement on it. I'll tell you this right now, though. I wish these 0.2 Octomores were more readily available. Again, this is an example of what you can get when you buy it from the UK, which we were talking about earlier. These are like usually travel exclusives, but this is where they do their most innovative stuff. So with the Octomores, like the 0.1s are usually the Scottish barley. The 0.3s are usually the Islay barley. And the 0.2s are usually these like random wine casks. So this 9.2 is a red wine Bordeaux cask. There's a 10.2, which I actually also have, which is a Sauternes cask, like where they really get innovative with it. But a lot of them are travel exclusive, which is, again, normally you eschew the travel exclusives, but not necessarily the case with Octomore. Not necessarily the case with Octomore. They're calling it Big Baby. You have a 7.3. Nice. The oldest one that I have in terms of like the numbers, I have a 6.1. Or is it a 6.3? Okay, so I have the 10-year-old batch 2, which is the silver one. That's from 2016. And then, so a Scottish barley, 167 ppm. This is the 6.1. So that's the quote-unquote oldest Octomore I have vis-a-vis like the actual batch releases. But I've heard, the 7 range, the 6.3, the 7.3, those are like some of the best. Leo says PC10 is so good. Okay, so it wasn't rotten. That's good. Yeah, I love that whiskey, man. Andrew Page out in Jersey drinking the Lagavulin 11 Offerman Edition Guinness cask. Really good. It makes me slightly more excited about Lagavulin now. I'm on whiskey reviews. Are you planning? Dude, so I did do a quasi live review of it a couple weeks back. I will probably do a formal review eventually. I will say this though. I liked that 11 Offerman Guinness cask much more than I liked the first 11 Offerman edition. And I think part of that was, again, it so easily could have been overpowered by the Guinness cask, but for whatever reason, it's so complementary to Lagavulin style. I really liked that. In fact, I bought 2 bottles of it. I have another bottle, which I've already drank one, if that says anything about it. I think that's one of the better Lagavulin releases that I've had recently. I would buy that over the 12-year-old from 2020. I really would. I feel like that Guinness cask, they did it at just the right amount of time. I think it was 4 months. And it just has this delicious, it adds this creamy element without taking too much away from the depth and complexity of what you expect from Lagavulin. I mean, it is in the Lagavulin 16. I still think I would rather drink a Lagavulin 16. But, man, really good stuff. And I thought it was going to be gimmicky, but I had to buy it. And I was pleasantly surprised. So yeah, I don't know if you're feeling the same way. I don't know if you had the regular or the 11 Offerman edition Lagavulin before the first one, but I think this Guinness cask is better. Heck, I guess yeah. This guy's got a freaking Maker's Mark 46 cask strength, man. That sounds amazing. Yeah, James. James. That's great. Gary's loving that 8-year-old. Like, dude, yeah. I think that's a really good one too. And I'm glad they've kept it in the core range. Like I was, if you can fault Lagavulin for one thing, it's just that they don't have enough in their core range. It's like if you live in the States, you get the Lagavulin 16, the Lagavulin Distillers Edition, and the Lagavulin 8. That's it. Like, and then maybe these Offerman editions here and there, which are 11-year-olds. Like, there's not, they don't have as much stuff as you'd like. I mean, Ardbeg at least has 4 or 5 in their core range, and then they have all the special editions. Lafroig has a dozen in their core range. Not all of them are good, but I'm with you, man. Yeah, I think the 8 is it's perfectly priced, around $50. I think it stands up to the 10-year-old Lafroig, the 10-year-old Ardbeg, the 10-year-old Port Charlotte. It beats the Wee Beastie 5-year-old for sure. It definitely beats the Lafroig Select. Yeah, it's right in there. Paul says we'll be opening the Octomore 11.1 and 11.3 tomorrow for my birthday. Hey, man, happy birthday, Paul. Paul in Montreal's got a birthday coming tomorrow, and he's got some Octomores. He's doing a bunch of Octomores. Dude, that's a way to celebrate in style. Enjoy those, man. I'll be really curious to catch up with you next week and let me know how you think on each of those releases. I have not had those, but those are celebratory whiskeys if you could name any, man. So happy birthday, brother. Enjoy those for sure. Yeah. For sure. What are you drinking again, Daniel? I'm sorry, I probably forgot. Yeah, happy birthday is coming in for our good community friend Paul in Montreal. Yeah, man, happy birthday. Yeah, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to have those things sitting on your shelf ready to be cracked open on your birthday, man? Yeah, enjoy those, Paul. That's awesome. Are those easy to get in Canada? Octomore? Man, it's turned into a Pete night tonight, man. Between this AnCnoc and these Octos that we got, good God. I am digging it. All right, y'all. So we are getting close to the top of the hour, and I'm going to have to sign off. I do appreciate everybody for hanging out. I know this was a little last-minute impromptu 2-hour show, but, man, I had a lot of fun. I hope you all did, too. We still got 25 folks in the chat, which is awesome. This Friday, I'll be dropping a review of Ben Aromic 10 and Ben Aromic 10 Imperial Cask. So if you're into figuring out, learning a little bit about either of those two, be sure to tune into that. That will drop Friday. Patreon supporters, patreon.com/maltmuserwhiskey. If you're a part of that, you'll be getting that review tomorrow. So you'll have a little bit of 48-hour advance on the review of those. Hint, hint. I have interesting things to say about them. Telex will be back next week. So we will be back to the normal Telex and Malt Show Tasty Tuesday format. And Telex has a Linkwood 10, and I have a Linkwood 19 independent bottling. So we're going to be checking out an obscure single malt from Scotland. So if you have ever had Linkwood or seen Linkwood and are like, what the hell is this? We'll definitely have that going on next week. So I do appreciate everybody for hanging out for 2 hours, man. It's been great chatting with everybody. Again, if you're new to the channel, we had a couple newbies. I would love if you hit that subscribe button. It'll make sure you don't miss any of my reviews, which drop Fridays, and you'll get notifications for my happy hours every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Tasty Tuesday. Y'all know where it's at. And of course, you will get notifications about the Telex and Malt show as well. We are getting close to that 1,000, so I would love folks to help out with that. And yeah, if you're interested in joining on Patreon, you get early access to reviews. You get access to whiskey raffles where I send out samples to random folks. More things coming this year. Chip in at Patreon. Appreciate that, Daniel, for dropping that link. Much love to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. We got a couple of our friends in the community this week who've been going through some hard stuff, man, related to COVID-19. So I hope you keep them in your thoughts. You know, we are a community after all. Yeah, we drink whiskey and talk about whiskey, but it is also what binds us together. And community is a really important thing to keep us as fulfilled, well-rounded human beings. So I want to give, again, my love to Silverlock Whiskey Reviews and to Whiskey Throttle, Daniel up in Canada. Thoughts and prayers and positive vibes to you and your family going through the hard stuff. And, you know, as much as us, me here in the whiskey community can be as supportive to you, we'll do what we can, man. So with that, much love to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out for 2 hours. And I'll see you guys next week here on the channel, man. Stay safe, be well.